Hi guys, this is Joseph from Thornley Photography. I've wanted to make this video for a while because it would really have helped me to get into the freelance photography industry. So I want to make this for my past self or anyone looking to get into photography full time. Please excuse how awkward I am in this video. It is my first one and I'm holding the mic because I don't know what to do with my hands. Suddenly I really feel bad for all the agents who I do videos for. So I'll just tell you a little bit about myself first before getting into the main part of the video where I talk about focal agent. So I started photography around 13, shooting landscapes, got my first DSLR, the Canon 650D. It did me for about 10 years, that camera, to be fair. I did really good with that. I studied photography at college. That's when I first started looking at man versus nature in the landscape and environmental photography, really. So then I went to uni and I continued this investigation into the environment through photography, whether it being through the elite ecological, in rivers and the river health, or sort of this environmental landscape investigation through photography. I delved more into the Anthropocene. I didn't really know where I was going after uni, to be honest. I couldn't really just jump into documentary photography as much as I would like to. So I left uni and straight away I wanted to get into the industry. Just doing anything really. So I looked in LinkedIn, as you do, and the first job that came up was school photography. So I applied and I got that. So with school photography, it's very repetitive. You're doing the same thing every day. You set up your studio, you do some portraits and you go home. So I only lasted there 5 months before I got really bored. So then I left the company and went back working with my dad, making bespoke cabinetry and kitchens. Through doing kitchens though, I got some great kitchens to take photographs of, in contact with builders so I could take photos of houses and architecture for the first time. That's when I really started thinking that I could go the architectural photography route. Whilst I was making kitchens, I really wanted to push the photography, so I upgraded my setup to a Canon 5D Mark III, which is a great camera, great value for money nowadays. Back then, it did set me back quite a lot. My cousin Georgia told me about Focal Agent, where you can basically get paid to take photographs of houses that go onto Rightmove. So I started with Focal Agent, and anyone who doesn't know, you're on an app and you get allocated jobs, and these can be for any estate agents really that work for them. And I just started doing jobs there. That's when I upgraded to a 360 camera as well, which is like 700 quid to do 360 tours, which get you a little bit more money. I never really did get busy with Focal Agent. It is quite a grind as well. I'll speak more on Focal Agent shortly, but basically I didn't get very busy. I decided to go traveling in a camper van I built. And when traveling, I found myself, I decided, I want to really do photography full time. It's what I enjoy, it's what I'm good at. I needed some purpose. So when I came back, I looked to apply for jobs, but I didn't find any. If you're looking for jobs in photography, you might notice that the only ones that really go up are studio photographer for like JD, NHS clinical photographer, or school photography. So there's not much choice out there on LinkedIn. So when I came back, I did what I knew and I was looking at local companies to maybe do some advertising for local businesses really. So I did a few free shoots for people I knew, and I emailed a lot of companies offering my services with little to no success whatsoever. So that's when I decided to go to local estate agencies and basically offer my services, which is absolutely terrifying for someone who's pretty introverted. So basically I parked my car at one end of the high street, and then I just went in every single estate agency throughout the town, which was terrifying, trying to pitch to people. Left them a card, and yeah, that was pretty much it. I did have a really good friend who worked in an agency who said that they would use my services in the future potentially. So I had something in the works there. I also followed a lot of estate agents on Instagram. I then tried to find more photographers in the local area because I didn't know of any, and just followed them. Followed a local media company and offered my services to them as well. It was then when a photographer I followed got in touch with me via DMs offering me some work, which I was buzzing about. Basically been exactly what I was after, just a way into the industry. It was then when I decided to invest in some more kit. I was still rocking the Canon 5D Mark III, and I decided to switch to Sony, the mirrorless, because they're very affordable, and I upgraded my laptop from the 10-year-old MacBook to a new one. So after spending that money, I was definitely in the negative and I had to make it work pretty much. I was doing kitchens about 2 days a week, photography 3 days, and it was at around this time as well, I had one agent that I went into the high street get back to me, offer me a job, and the estate agency where my friend worked also got back to me, offering me a job as well. A year and 3 months on, I'm full-time freelance still, and I'm absolutely loving it. Throughout that first year, I phased out the focal agent jobs because I didn't really need them anymore. We're finally at the part you probably clicked on for, which is, should you work for focal agent? And the answer for that is yes and no. So I'll start with the positives on focal agent. It is a great way to get into the industry. You can get your practice in doing floor plans, doing the photography, how the whole process works, because it can be quite daunting to start with. You can then get 10, 20, 30 houses under your belt, and then you sort of have to go, okay, I know what I'm doing now, and you can kind of get your own jobs in, so you feel more confident. That being said, there are definitely some drawbacks to working for focal agent. For example, all the edits are done by AI, which can leave some of them being, to be honest, pretty bad. Which is a real shame when you try hard for the photograph and the AI has edited it poorly. So it gives you little control over the work that you shoot, and it can lead to some photographs that you're not really proud of because you would have edited them better. Again, this just comes down to it being quite an entry-level, cheap way of photographing houses. The agent can get in contact with customer services and get that rectified. It can also be quite difficult to get work because the agents have photographers they prefer, so it can be quite hard to get the work in the first place. The payment can be an issue as well. The jobs only pay £30 each for a normal photos and floor plan. If you include a 360 tour, you get £45, and if it's a Matterport tour, it's £50. And drone photography pays £30 as well. You also get a large property fee of over 6 bedrooms, which is £10. So for these prices, the photographers working for these agents need at least a couple, 4 or 5 houses in a day just to make ends meet. In my experience, I only had one drone photography package, and the majority of the jobs that came available to me were the £30 option. So, and again, at these prices, you won't be able to take your time moving objects and stuff like that in the house to make the photos look better, unless it's coming out of your own personal time. The last issue with the prices is the majority of the virtual tours I did were for Purple Bricks. Now, Purple Bricks sell the package on the website for £700 and you get paid £50. And that is how their business model works, but the customer will be paying £700 and be expecting £700 worth of photos, and you have no control over how these look in terms of editing, which is difficult. So it is really difficult. You kind of walk in this tightrope the whole time with wanting to please the customer without wasting too much of your time. I didn't make this video just to criticize focal agents' pricing. It is a budget option for agents. However, I think it's important for photographers to know exactly how it all works and weigh up whether it's worth working there for you. I think it's a great option if you have a full-time job and you're looking for part-time work to build up your portfolio. Just get some houses under your belt. And you can get some great equipment for very cheap nowadays. For example, the 360 camera I bought for £700, and you can now get a used one for between £300 and £450. So straight away, this more viable option. A theory I've always been interested in is the 10,000 hour theory, which is basically getting 10,000 hours in on one thing to basically master it. The concept's definitely flawed, but I think it's a great place to begin with. Just get as much time behind the lens as possible and you will get better. It'll happen. And do this regardless of your kit. Upgrade your kit when you can, make that jump, invest in yourself, but also weigh up whether it's worth doing at your point in time, because sometimes people can get caught up on the kit. And if you are investing in your kit, like let's say £6,000, £8,000, it quickly adds up. Charge accordingly. I think if you're investing that much money, you shouldn't be doing jobs for £30 at all. It's just not a viable option. This is probably another video, but AI is creating new problems as well. I think future-proofing yourself is very important in this industry. I think you need to provide things that AI can't do itself, because editing may soon go fully automated eventually, which would be a shame. You should be able to provide services that cheaper alternatives like focal agent or AI cannot provide. For me, this is twilight photography and videography. I think it's definitely important to not get too comfortable and to upskill as much as you can. In the estate agency business, you can also go into EPCs and surveys, and you can also cross over into other industries, whether it be wedding, food, event. So I made this video just to prove that there are jobs in the creative industry. They're just not as transparent as in other industries on LinkedIn and stuff like that. I hope this video was interesting to learn how it is to work for focal agent, and it's helped you decide whether you do want to work for them or not. I do want to make some more behind the scenes videos on how the whole process works. and more interesting stuff, to be honest. Whether it be travel videos to photography, I've got some ideas. Or through the Anthropocene. A year and 3 months on, I'm loving it, and Anthropocene. So I wanted to make a video about being freelance